Hello, friends. A warm welcome to all of you on our channel Handshake. In today's video, we are going to explore 5 interesting United States quarter-dollar coins, 1985, D, 1987P, and 1967. We will discuss the history, design, mint details, and special features of these coins in detail, so that you can clearly understand their real importance and collector value. If you enjoy coin collecting or want to learn more about old and historic coins, then this video is going to be very interesting for you. So make sure to watch till the end. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And let's get started. The 1967 United States quarter dollar is part of the famous Washington Quarter series, one of the most recognizable and historically important coin series in American numismatics. This coin carries the inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, and E Pluribus Unum, which reflect the core ideals of the United States: freedom, faith, and unity. The Washington Quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, and due to its popularity and dignified design, it became a permanent circulating coin. By 1967, the quarter was already a deeply familiar piece of everyday American life, but the era in which it was minted gives it special historical importance. The obverse front of the 1967 quarter features a left-facing portrait of George Washington, the first president of the United States. The portrait was designed by sculptor John Flanagan, based loosely on a bust of Washington by Jean-Antoine Adon. Along the top edge of the coin appears the word Liberty, symbolizing the foundation of American democracy. To the left of Washington's neck is the motto In God We Trust, which was officially adopted on U.S. coins during the 19th century and reflects the nation's spiritual heritage. The date 1967 appears at the bottom of the obverse. Unlike earlier Washington quarters, the 1967 coin does not display a mint mark, which is an important detail for collectors. The reverse back of the 1967 quarter displays a heraldic bald eagle, the national bird of the United States. The eagle is shown with wings spread wide, holding a bundle of arrows in its talons, symbolizing strength and readiness to defend the nation. Beneath the eagle is an olive branch, representing peace. Above the eagle appears a Latin phrase, E Pluribus Unum, meaning out of many one, which refers to the unity of the states forming one nation. Surrounding the design are the inscriptions United States of America and quarter dollar, clearly identifying the coin's country and denomination. From a minting and historical perspective, the 1967 quarter is especially significant because it was produced during a time of major change in U.S. coinage. Due to widespread coin hoarding in the early 1960s, caused by rising silver prices, the U.S. government decided to remove silver from circulating coins. As a result, starting in 1965, quarters were no longer made of 90% silver. The 1967 quarter is composed of a copper-nickel-clad structure, consisting of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper core. This change marked a new era in American coin production and makes the 1967 quarter part of the first generation of modern-clad U.S. coins. Another unique feature of the 1967 quarter is that it was minted without mint marks, regardless of whether it was struck in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. This was done intentionally by the U.S. Mint between 1965 and 1967 to discourage collectors from pulling coins out of circulation during the coin shortage. Even though San Francisco produced many of these coins, they were not proof coins, and all 1967 quarters were intended strictly for circulation. The total mintage of 1967 quarters was very high, over 1 billion coins, making them common in circulated condition even today. In terms of collector value, the 1967 quarter is generally not rare, but its worth depends heavily on condition. In heavily circulated condition, it usually holds only face value. However, coins in uncirculated or mint state condition, especially those with strong luster and no major marks, can be worth more to collectors. High-grade examples certified by professional grading services may sell for a premium. Errors such as off-center strikes, double dies, or clipped planchets can significantly increase value, making error coins from 1967 especially interesting for collectors. Overall, the 1967 Washington quarter dollar is a powerful symbol of a transitional moment in U.S. history. It represents a shift from precious metal coinage to modern clad coins, while still preserving classic American imagery and national mottos like liberty, in God we trust, and e pluribus unum. Though common, it holds strong historical, educational, and collectible value, making it an important coin for beginners and seasoned collectors alike. Chlorine. The 1987 P United States of America quarter dollar belongs to the long-running and highly respected Washington Quarter Series, a coin design that has been part of American daily life since 1932. This coin carries the powerful national inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, and E Pluribus Unum, which together express the philosophical foundation of the United States, freedom, faith, and unity. By the time 1987 arrived, the Washington Quarter had already become an enduring symbol of American identity, circulating widely across the country and used by millions of people every day for commerce, transportation, and savings. The 1987 P issue holds particular importance because it was produced during a period when the U.S. Mint was facing economic pressure, changing metal costs, and evolving collector demand. The obverse front of the 1987 P quarter features the iconic left-facing portrait of George Washington, the first president of the United States and a central figure in the nation's founding. The portrait was designed by sculptor John Flanagan, inspired by a classical bust of Washington created by Jean-Antoine Houdon. Along the upper rim of the coin is the word liberty, representing the core democratic principle upon which the United States was formed. To the left of Washington's neck appears the motto, In God We Trust, a phrase officially added to U.S. coins to reflect the nation's moral and spiritual values. At the bottom of the obverse, the date 1987 is clearly displayed, while just to the right of Washington's ponytail is the P Mint mark, indicating that the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. The reverse back of the 1987 P quarter displays a traditional heraldic bald eagle, a long-standing symbol of American strength, independence, and sovereignty. The eagle is shown with its wings fully spread, clutching a bundle of arrows in its talons, signifying the nation's readiness to defend itself, while an olive branch beneath the arrows represents peace and diplomacy. Above the eagle is the Latin phrase E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one, which refers to the unity of the individual states forming a single nation. Encircling the design of the inscriptions United States of America and quarter dollar, clearly identifying both the issuing country and the coin's denomination. From a minting and production standpoint, the 1987 P quarter was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, one of the oldest and most important mints in the United States. Unlike earlier decades when silver played a major role in coinage, the 1987 quarter was made entirely from a copper-nickel-clad composition, consisting of outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a core of pure copper. This metal structure was introduced in 1965 and was still in full use by 1987, allowing the U.S. Mint to produce durable coins suitable for heavy circulation while keeping costs under control. The diameter of the coin is 24.3 millimeters. Its weight is 5.67 grams, and has a reeded edge, all standard features of modern Washington quarters. The year 1987 is particularly interesting to collectors because no quarter dollars were issued for general circulation in mint sets that year. Instead, the U.S. Mint only produced uncirculated quarters in special collector mint sets, which makes high-quality 1987 P quarters harder to find compared to ES of 1987. In terms of value and collectability, most circulated 1987 P quarters are still worth face value, especially if they show signs of wear such as scratches, faded details, or dull surfaces. However, coins that remain in mint state, especially those preserved in original collector sets or professionally graded at high levels, can command a premium. Error coins, such as off-center strikes, double dies, clip planchets, or misaligned layers, are especially valuable and sought after by advanced collectors. Because of the limited availability of high-grade examples, the 1987 P quarter has earned a special place among modern U.S. coin collectors. Overall, the 1987 P Washington quarter dollar represents a mature phase of American coinage, combining classic design, modern materials, and historical continuity. Though it lacks the silver content of earlier quarters, it carries deep symbolic meaning through its inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, and E Pluribus Unum. It stands as a reminder of how U.S. coinage adapts to economic realities while preserving national identity, making the 1987 P quarter an important and educational piece for collectors, historians, and everyday Americans alike. The 1985 The United States quarter dollar is part of the historic Washington quarter series, one of the longest-running and most recognizable coin designs in American monetary history. This coin bears the inscriptions United States of America, Liberty, In God We Trust, and E Pluribus Unum, phrases that collectively reflect the political philosophy, moral tradition, and national unity of the country. The Washington quarter design was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of the birth of George Washington, the nation's first president, and the design proved so enduring that it remained unchanged for decades. By 1985, the coin was a routine part of daily commerce in the United States, circulating through banks, shops, public transport, and vending machines, yet still carried historical symbolism rooted in the founding era. The obverse or front side of the 1985 D quarter displays a familiar left-facing portrait of George Washington, created by sculptor John Flanagan and inspired by an earlier bust by artist Jean-Antoine Adon. Above the portrait appears the bold word Liberty, representing democratic independence and individual rights. Below and to the left of Washington's profile is a national motto, In God We Trust, reflecting the religious and cultural tradition expressed on American coinage since the 19th century. The date 1985 is positioned at the bottom, while the small D mint mark appears on the obverse to the right of Washington's hair ribbon, identifying the coin as having been struck at the Denver Mint. This placement of the mint mark reflects modern minting conventions established after 1968, when mint marks were moved to the front of Washington quarters. The reverse or backside features a strong and symbolic depiction of the bald eagle, wings spread in a heraldic pose symbolizing national authority and freedom. The eagle clutches a bundle of arrows in its talons, representing readiness to defend the nation, while olive branches beneath symbolize peace and diplomacy. Above the eagle is the Latin phrase E Pluribus Unum, meaning out of many one, emphasizing unity among the states forming the United States. Encircling the design are the inscriptions United States of America and quarter dollar, identifying the issuing authority and denomination. Both sides of the coin were designed by John Flanagan, giving the piece artistic continuity and classical balance. From a technical and minting perspective, the 1985 D quarter was produced as a circulation strike at the Denver Mint with an extremely large mintage of approximately 519,962,888 coins, reflecting the heavy demand for coinage in the American economy at the time. The coin measures about 24.3 millimeters in diameter, weighs 5.67 grams, and features a reeded edge to prevent shaving or tampering. It is composed of copper-nickel clad construction, consisting overall of about 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel bonded over a copper core, a metallic structure adopted in 1965 when silver was removed from circulating quarters. This means the coin contains no precious metal content, making it durable and economical for mass production rather than intrinsically valuable for its metal. Use at coinbook.com+1. Use at coinbook.com. Use at coinbook.com+1. Historically, the year 1985 represents a period of economic adjustment and technological advancement in the United States following the early 1980s recession, and coinage production reflected the needs of a growing commercial system. The Washington quarter design itself symbolized continuity through changing decades, providing stability and familiarity despite economic shifts. Because both Philadelphia and Denver produce hundreds of millions of quarters that year, the combined total exceeded 1 billion coins, making them widely available in circulation and not considered rare by collectors. Consequently, the 1985 D quarter is generally categorized as a common modern circulation coin, though it remains important for completing year-in-mint collections or educational study of U.S. coinage history. Washington-quarters.com. In terms of value and collectability, most 1985 D quarters found in circulation are worth roughly their face value of 25 cents, reflecting their abundance and lack of precious metal. Coins preserved in very high mint state condition may sell for several dollars or more depending on grading and market demand, and exceptional certified examples can bring significantly higher auction prices due to rarity in top condition. Like many modern coins, collector interest increases when unusual mint errors appear, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or planchet irregularities, but standard pieces remain primarily historical rather than monetary collectibles. Cointrackers.com. Cointrackers.com+1. Overall, the 1985 D. Washington quarter dollar stands as a representative example of late 20th century American coinage, combining classical imagery, modern and dust.